and my name is, sorry. So it's truly an honor to be part of this moment and share with you. As refugee, we long for peace, peace that will allow us to return home, rebuild our nation, and contribute not only to our country's future, but also the global community. Thank you so much. Thank you for your letter of peace. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. It's a great pleasure to join all today. Jacqueline from South Sudan. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you for joining us as well for your letter of peace. So I think let's start our event. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Haben Xavier from Defying Hate Now Ethiopia. I'm working as a community outreach coordinator, as well as I'm working with the advocacy of peace since I'm the first hand evidence of the consequence of all the war. So I know what does really mean war. It's consequence as well. So that's why I'm working with the peace, and then currently as as part of the Defy Hate Now initiative, I'm working as a community outreach coordinator. In addition to that, also I always stand with the peace and uh, working with the peace platform as well. So today we will have a good session with the aspects of peace as we are celebrating the peace international peace building. As you know, this is a United Nation Assembly program as it's been 43 years as celebrating this Peace International Day. So a part of that, today we are here to celebrate the Peace International Day. So having saying this, as a Defy Hate Now Ethiopia, we organize this event to address all aspects of the peace. So in today's session, we will have a very good session. So before I start to detail session programs, let me invite our founder Steve, founder of Rogue Agency. So he will address some objectives of today event session, as well as his thoughts of peace building, why he's working with our peace platforms as well. So I'll get back after that. Stay with us, and happy International Peace Day to everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. So we'll have a good time. Stay with us. So let me give the mic to Steve.
Okay, thank you very much, Haben, and great to finally meet you, and very happy to see all the people who have joined the session today. Apart from our friends and colleagues in Ethiopia, very happy to see people from the AskNet network in South Sudan and Uganda to also join. And as I mentioned, I also have my two special guests from Iraq here who are also celebrating International Day of Peace in Baghdad with a big festival going on. So it is truly an international day, and we have our own international group here. Very nice to see. So I would like to, welcome all of you on behalf of the Rogue Agency for Open Culture and Critical Transformation, which is based here in Berlin, Germany, in this room, and our many partners, which includes you guys out there. This year, what we call a Peace Jam, an online social media Peace Jam, is being hosted and run by our colleagues in Ethiopia. It's part of the Defy Hate Now initiative that has been running in Ethiopia since 2023. Defy Hate Now initially started as a reaction to the civil war that broke out in South Sudan in 2013. And we've been having online peace jams on International Day of Peace every year since 2015. So this is actually sort of 10 years now that we've been doing it. So it's very special. And I think all these little bits and pieces of discussions around what peace can be, because it's very elusive, are very useful. I chose today to wear this t-shirt with a little green person walking, meaning walking into the future with optimism. Keep going. That's why I put my word out, being proactive. And we get together on these occasions actually to focus also on the issues of social media hate speech and how that is used to incite violence, how we can better counter and debunk disinformation online. So I hope some of the discussion will be about that and your experiences on how to deal with that problem, because ultimately what we try to do here and globally online is to create a safe space for dialogue. Right now, online and social media is a very toxic space. Unfortunately, has gotten even worse over the years. But we need to reclaim this space as a safe space, a space for dialogue, a space for art, a space for expression, to be able to promote empathy and unity. We have the power to do that. One of the things that Defy Hate Now has managed to do was to fill the landscape on social media with peace and unity and these kinds of issues against those people who are using and misusing and abusing that space to promote war and violence through disinformation, through targeted hate speech. So we and all of you have a very, very important role to play. Every single person with every single post that they make online has the opportunity to chip away at that space of hate and fill it up with with sort of an open and positive society. So it's very, very important also that the grassroots engage with this kind of messaging and activities online. Some people run away when they see threats online, but you have to be firm and you have to say, no, this is not correct. And this does make all of us, in a certain way, digital activists, whether we have a lot of experience with things online or very little. Yeah, use the platform to promote your ideas, your messages, creating a meaningful dialogue to serve all your various communities. It's the same problem here in Germany. We have huge, huge problems of online hate speech. It's creating a very, very big political problem here as well. So it's not something just in regions of visible conflict. It is a global issue, and our community is a global community. So we're all in this together. So I will just close, by saying I really encourage everyone to join this effort to build a peaceful future, even if it's just little pieces at a time. Yeah. But these kinds of events, more and more, the more you can do it, even in your everyday social media work, always push for real truth, positive messaging, for peace in general. And I'm wishing everybody a great discussion today. And I pass it back over upstairs there to Haben. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Steve, for your well orientation. Thank you so much. So, as we have said today, we are celebrating International Peace Day. Let's write our letter of peace in our messages in all our social medias as well. Thank you so much, Steve, for your orientation. So now we will have, as I mentioned earlier, we are here. We have a slogan as well as a Defy Now Ethiopia and also as a ROG in general as well. So as ROG is working with Defy, so let's unite, stand together, and create peace in all our communities. As I mentioned earlier, I'm the first-hand evidence for the consequence of war. So let's unite and stand together. Today, we have in our here events, we have panelists, moderators, and as well as volunteers. Our partners are here. So thank you so much again for joining us. So to quickly say about our, we have Meron here, our communication expert, as well as tech advocate in Defying Hate Ethiopia here. In addition to that, we have panelists, Dr. Merga from German Berlin as a communication expert as well as a lecturer. We have also Jackie from South Sudan as a gender and also peace building expert. We have also Iyasu Haile from Addis Ababa University as a lecturer in political science as well as in international relations. So I hope later on they will introduce themselves with our panel, with our moderators. For now, let me invite Meron, our communication expert. So we will start our event session with Meron as well as with our today's panelists. Thank you so much again for joining us. I hope we will have a good time. And then don't forget that to write your letter of peace in our message. In addition to that, since we are working with social media as a Defy Now project, not only we are countering hate speech, we are also working with the media information resources. So we will post our event session in all our LinkedIn pages, Instagram pages, as well as in Facebook. So we will use your photos and your videos as well. So if anyone doesn't want to post their own photos and videos, you can write us on our, this is formally requesting your consent as well. So thank you so much. Let me give the mic to Meron Antona, our communication expert. So I'll get back to you. Happy International Peace Day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Haben, and welcome everyone. Hope that you would stay with us throughout the session, not just stay, but also engage within the comment section and keep this panel discussion as lively along with the team that's already here. So without further ado, I would like to call upon the panelists to kindly also, if possible, if they can turn their cameras on, but if not, then at least to have their microphones unmuted. We have Dr. Merga Jonas, and then we also have Miss Jackie Bagay, and then we have Mr. Yosef from Ethiopia as well. So I hope everyone is here, and I hope we'll have a live session. Thank you, Jacqueline. I see you perfectly. Perfect. Okay. So with the first question, I think it would be great to also have everyone introduce yourselves. I mean by everyone, the panelists. So maybe I would start with Dr. Merga. You can kindly introduce yourselves, and once done, you could pass the mic to either one of the panelists, either Jacqueline or Mr. Yosef. So back to you, Dr. Merga.
All right, thank you very much, Meron. Hello, everyone. It's really great, at least, to see you or meet you virtually on this special day. My name is Marga Jonas Bula. I'm a journalist and also consultant, especially consulting on countering disinformation. I've worked with, or still working on and off with also Rogue, or especially hashtag Defy Hate Now. So I'm still in that area. I will be lecturing political communication in the coming winter semester here in Bonn, Germany. So yeah, I would say this is briefly my bio, and pass to Jacqueline.
Thank you, Dr. Merga.
Thank you very much, everyone, and thanks, Dr. Michael, for passing over to me. My name is Jacqueline Baguet. I work for Strategic Africa as a country coordinator, and I'm also a member of UNESCO Youth Network, and I've been actively involved in youth movement in South Sudan, and partially I have attended a couple of events organized by Defying Hate way back in 2018, so I'm saying for the opportunity.
Thank you, Jacqueline. So I'll also pass it to the third but not least panelist. So Mr. Yasu.
All right. Do you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Very nice. My name is Yasu Haile Mikhail. I'm a lecturer of Global Studies and International Relations. I currently lecture at New Generation University in the Department of Global Science and Global Studies and International Relations. This semester, as one of the presenter said, I'll be lecturing courses like globalization and social justice, a very famous course. I think you can work on it. And the other course I work is Africa and its international relations. Mostly I emphasize on lecturing conflict, peace and conflict resolution, peace building courses. So this is my profile. In other activities, I work on the youth engagement and trainings.
Thank you so much, Mr. Yasu. It's actually very amazing that each of the panelists have somehow correlation within peace, advocacy, and also gender within their fields and sectors and expertise. So it's a great honor to also have you guys in this session.
Yeah, to make some correction, I'm not currently working in Addis Ababa University.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for noting that out. Okay, so I think we can go ahead and start with the first question. So I would pass it on for everyone, but for now, just to switch it a little bit, we can start with Miss Jacqueline with a question saying, what does peace building mean to you? And also either personally and how it also translates into your daily work or activity.
Thank you very much, Meron, and to everyone. To me, I look at peace building as something which is quite personal because, first of all, I was born in conflict. I spent part of my life in the refugee camp due to conflict in Congo and Uganda. And I have literally spent most of my childhood and also growing up in conflict. So when we speak of peace building, I take it quite personal because I believe that for any child who has been forcefully sent out of their home, out of their country as a result of conflict, there are a lot of things that perhaps might have led to them finally deciding to flee the country. And one of the issues would be, access to justice or challenges in relation to forced marriage, challenges in relation to access to services. So when we say today that peace building, I look at it at a more practical way in engaging people who have been directly affected by the conflict in order to bring them on one table to have conversation and have dialogue. In my work, why I say that I take it quite personal, because I believe that through community dialogue, through engagement with those affected by the conflict, through bringing together the warring party, those who have disagreed, to have conversation and have understanding and come to the point where they are able to, directly negotiate and come to a line to actually be able to, openly speak about how some of this agreement have impacted the larger population and the larger community. I also see that peace building has more something to do with transforming the young people in terms of, creating a space for women and youth to voice out some of the key and critical issues that are affecting them. It's about providing access to justice. It's about developing policies that are more informative and also more inclusive of both issues affecting women and young people. And to me, committing to, peace building is only possible through inclusion. It's only possible talking about some of this dispute. It's only possible through ensuring service delivery for the survivors of conflict, survivors of gender-based violence as a key trigger of conflict during and after conflict. As we speak right now, there's a lot of things, a lot of the peace dialogue and peace convention has been held internationally and nationally, and still there has not been any significant improvement when we talk of investment in peace building. And that's a question that at times I ask myself, and also in the group that we have conversation in, what haven't we done well and what can we do better? And today, as we celebrate the International Peace Day, I also look at, some of the emerging challenges that continue to face the country, like the online violence, the online hate speech, that require more sort of comprehensive peace-building activity to actually be able to tackle the critical issues of conflict, both online and offline. So to me, peace building is more personal. It's about practicality. It's about bringing all those involved in the conflict to the table for conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline. It's really quite amazing how you also shared it, as it touches different parts of your world and also affects others, while it's also affecting you. And the fact that you're also a direct victim of this certain situation within peace building. You mentioned that the investment is really needed, so I couldn't agree any more. So thank you so much for sharing your perspective upon this. I would also like to ask the same question to Dr. Marga. What does peace mean to you, and how does your day-to-day activity within peace and also resilience feel to you?
Thank you very much, Meron, for this question. Yeah, I'm in a relatively peaceful area the last 12 years. But if I have to reflect back my upbringing and my youth life and also professional life in Ethiopia, it is, I would say, peace has never been a luxury to me. It is something that we fight through our profession, through our other means that we can reach out, because it is something that you work for. It is something that you fight for. Like Stephen said, you don't stop at some point saying that now I reach this level and I'm going to stop it. What really worries me is that peace and conflict or war is not what we see people affecting physically, but also it's beyond that. The psychological effect of it is something that remains for decades. And in my today's personal and professional life, I'm always preaching for the way to find common ground. Of course, there are always polarizing narratives and conflicts and mistrusts, and how to bring or bridge that gap by finding a common ground. And professionally, I tell stories of those affected through my journalistic articles, more solution-oriented journalism, where I can try to recommend also what kind of alternative is out there to bring peace. As a consultant, I'm day-to-day through my readings and also offering workshops. I try to bring to people's attention how dangerous is disinformation, especially when today artificial intelligence is added to it, and especially both in diaspora and also back home in Ethiopia. and it can be, you can see how that is translated from online to onto the ground and affecting people, like I say, not only physically but also psychologically. So both personally and professionally, I continue to preach that we try to minimize our differences and find a common ground where we can build a peace. That is my word. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Marga. It's the same feeling I have with you, specifically on how you mentioned about even dialogues and how it can actually boost the mechanism to enrich more peaceful conversations and positive conversations around different people, especially even in the diaspora region, because like we also have a couple projects and initiatives that we work with you along, named as the Diaspora Dialogues for Everyone. You can also have a look on our website. It's really interesting, and having you also as an expert to share your side of things and side of views is also as much appreciated. Thank you so much, Dr. Marga. And Mr. Iyasu, how would you say?
All right. Great to open and speaking after those who have the real experience, especially Jacqueline's story is very inviting. As we know, many people have quests for peace, and many articles define and talk about peace. And peace building or working on such topic is, for me, I have been a teacher all my life, and living in Ethiopia by itself and in Africa is merely indication that we all quest for at least what we call the negative peace security. So for me, it's beyond, academic relief or working on the academy. So it's about the relation between people and state, or constitutionalism plus social cohesion. So the relation between communities depends on peace. While Dr. Mirga mentioning earlier stated that he is there in Germany where it is safe. I mean, better in comparison to Africa. But, even though there are differences in degree or extent or the assessment of peace, we can categorize the peace we look for. In many parts of Africa, it's about social justice. It's about equality. It's about security, even human security plus physical security. While you see these liberal nations, we look for the so-called positive peace or activities that work on merely not only structural, beyond structure. So in Africa, we have many challenges. We do have this historical grievances where people have historically stalled hate and historically enmity, and such activities of colonialism has also its impact. The way the politics managed has also its challenge. So to speak on this, earlier, while the moderator asked me, I wrote one quote: moving beyond the absence of war. This is more or merely about Africans. So this is John Galting's quote. So in Africa, there are direct violences plus indirect violences. In a place where we live, or in Ethiopia, we just hear lots of conflicts in different parts, not only in Ethiopia, throughout the world, ranging from the Sudan conflict to Ukraine-Russia conflict. So in the midst of these conflicts, children are not going to schools, mothers and women are raped. Different people are killed, and the future of many generations are lost. So working in such area is a very useful. So for me, peace is not only compounded in the university or the class I go or lecture. That's why I go out and give trainings for the youth on theatres. Recently, I had experience of a very short experience. Recently, I just went to have kind of training, and it was a very great experience for me, going out and working with the youth, especially youth empowerment, where the youth have voice and the youth can be involved in order to de-escalate conflicts and conflict prevention as well as peace building. So the presence of social justice, equitable institutions, culture of respect should be our vision. I hope in my where I live and beyond, this all will be satisfied, but it needs detail and collaborative activity.
Thank you so much, Mr. Iyasu. It's still a very tough situation everywhere, as we're facing a lot of conflicts, and also besides the conflict, having to deal with the post-trauma and trying to be resilient with oneself and not trying to affect others is also a very tough situation that everyone is having challenged with, and it's not something that's measurable, of course. And like you said, it's truly needed, as a community is a community when peace is within. So thank you so much for sharing those very good insights and perspectives as well. So thank you all for sharing your meaningful ways of addressing what peace building and peace means to you. So maybe to go ahead with another question for Dr. Marga, I would like to ask how have you seen hate speech evolve within Ethiopia currently, especially on digital platforms or any type of media that's digital? Like, what specific actions have also seemed to be proven effective in countering it so far?
Yeah. Thank you, Meron. We're dealing with this topic, especially in the last I would say, very actively, both in journalistic and academic area. Hate speech, disinformation now is like a big thema that people are really focusing on, and you can also get more attention if you go this direction. Of course, I'm saying the social media has escalated or maybe brought it to everybody, but it was already there. Hate speech, disinformation has been in the society. I wouldn't go back how many years, but I would say it is been there in our day-to-day life. It is what we face. It's what we see, and this has evolved through time. And with the introduction or with the coming of social media, this has been translated to online. And now today, it is both ways. It can come from offline to online, and also goes from the online to offline. Especially in our part of the region where we're dealing with different types of conflicts, sometimes religious, sometimes ethnic conflicts. It has really become a worrying situation where it exacerbates the conflict, the mistrust in the public back home. The best way to counter is I would say I'm the advocate of media literacy. So that one way to do is always and non-stop teaching the public on how they can proactively, like Stephen said, check and recheck the information that has been put online before they consume, and also try not to share any information that they think or hate speech that they think will affect the other person nearby them or other community. Sometimes they do this not intentionally, what we call misinformation. They just share because somebody, an activist, posted online with whom they share one ethnic group or one religious line, and they just share because that person posted, and that really caused a lot of problem because even if they don't understand the weight of the content, it has an effect on other people. So digital literacy is one way of bringing people, I mean, at least reducing the impact in the community. The other is supporting fact-checking platforms, especially those working in this countering disinformation and hate speech area. In a country like Ethiopia, it is very difficult. I see some fact-checking platforms who are really active, but to what extent they go to fact-check or counter hate speech is still in question. For instance, if higher official posted a hate speech, I doubt that they really go to that extent and question the person or that official to get down that kind of content from the social media platform, or if it's disinformation, to question where the source of his information. So it is limited what kind of fact checking we do in Ethiopia. In diaspora, of course, we are far away from day-to-day reality of what is happening on the ground, but I would say we have a relatively better advantage because we are talking about peace. If you fact check without any fear of repercussion, there is a better way of facing that official and debunking that disinformation. So it is not an individual or one sector to counter hate speech and disinformation. It has to be from the public, academic, and all way through journalists and the international community should support so that we can reduce hate speech. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Marga. Maybe if you can kindly add one statement briefly on how Ethiopian diaspora peace advocates can become effective agents of peace in a context where they're often, targets or tools in political polarization. If you can briefly summarize in one sentence, how would that be?
I would say historically and until today, diaspora is both a peacemaker and also a peacebreaker. It depends on how the situation back home is. We remember in 2000 that reform period. If you compare the diaspora's activity before 2018 and after 2018, if you take that period alone, you see a relative coming together of people and the love. You can see, even people warning each other, don't post that kind of information online if you don't have evidence for it. So because they saw there is a glimpse of hope that they can, for once and last time, bring peace to that country. And I don't want to go into the politics, but the politics make a U-turn. And then you see, again, diaspora getting back to, this offensive action where they target officials and their the administration's work and the political stand. So we can use diaspora as a peace maker if the ground back home allows. So it depends on the context of the country, if it's politic or economic, so that diaspora can be channeled in that way. As far as that will not be realized, diaspora will remain as a peace breaker. When I say peace breaker, they find any way, any kind of loophole to score their points in bringing down the government, to destabilizing the political system. Yeah, thank you. That's it.
Thank you so much, Marka. That's a good actually way of introducing the question, as well as the diaspora can be both positive peace advocates or vice versa as well. So good mentioning of the way forward. So maybe Jacqueline, if you can kindly have a say in regarding what examples regarding grassroots peace building initiatives have led to measurable or lasting impact in your community.
Thank you very much once again. I'd like to share a really personal example from my experience working with South Sudanese refugees in Uganda at the refugee camp. In 2016, there was a serious conflict that really affected the whole nation across the country. And lots of South Sudanese flew the country into the neighboring, including Uganda. And some of our program by then in South Sudan was closed down, and I was asked to go and support our pilot project in Uganda at the refugee camp, in Kiriandongo refugee camp. So when we first started, the project was focusing on peace building, and it also had an integrated approach of peace building, where we engaged young people in peace building, information of peace committee and peace group and negotiation, and also providing psychosocial support and trauma healing, engaging children in heart therapy, and engaging women and men and young people in economic empowerment and advocacy. When we first started the project, we saw, the population of South Sudanese that arrived at Kiriandongo camp came from across different tribes. And to work with the people and bringing them back together under one umbrella was a very big challenge. So what I did with my team was to avoid working with one tribe that I am well known, where I come from. I said, okay, this is a peace building project. It is for all South Sudanese that has come to this place. I know it's going to be hard to bring one tribe who are currently strongly fighting against each other back in South Sudan. It's going to be a bit hard, because we could see in a refugee camp that, people from one tribe will go and attack another tribe, will kill each other in the camp, will fight over Boa All. And it was very, very, there was a new sort of conflict that were arising in the refugee camp. In my project, the project I was handling rather, our focus was to really build coexistent peace building among all the South Sudanese, despite the different tribe, ethnicity, religion that they come from. So we mapped out specifically community leaders in specific tribes. We identify the people who are highly influential in different tribes, and we identify young people who are also well vocal and influential in those tribes. And we went further to identify women who are highly respected, either because of how they've been able to stay in marriage or nurture their family, who are highly respected in the community. So these were the people we identified to train as a staff to provide psychosocial support to the refugees that were living in the camp. And these people, their role were not only limited to going to the office space, our tent, which was then the office space, and wait for communities to come, and access the services. But their role were also to move out from door to door, from different blocks in the camp, to visit and listen to people's stories and be able to refer them to other services or provide more appropriate counseling and refer them to services where they are indeed in need. The very first few times, it was difficult to, let's say South Sudan has more than 60 tribes. We have about 64 tribes in South Sudan. It was very difficult to have maybe community from nowhere to sit down and listen to a leader from community from Dinka, or community from Azandi to sit down and listen to a community from Balanda. before the engagement, it was very difficult. The very first few times, they would come and sit around and still, family and household would pack their thing and run inside, or they would go and mobilize themselves and really try to understand why are these people, they are planning to do something. And slowly they kept going back with the support and the training that our project were giving them. They now understood the skill on how to actually convey a meeting with those that they look at as enemies, the enemy in the way they looked at it. So, and then we saw that they started to build a relationship among themselves. They started to accept to come to the program or to come to our tent and receive more support. And they themselves also started to kind of build more strong linkages. And I saw that approach of grassroots within the refugee camp of working through key individuals who are influential in the community to transform the perception and also encourage coexistence within the camp as the biggest tool. Because a few months afterward, I started to see people coexisting together. Community and tribes starting to visit each other to share their experiences. And now they also join economic empowerment group where we are training them to start business, to save and access loan. And also we call it in South Sudan, Sonduk Sonduk, where a group of young people or women collect money in one box and give it to the other person, and also do the same for a period of time. And each people are able to access income to start their own business. So this was the approach that I will look at. It is one of the successful grassroots initiatives that we actually, that I have been involved in. Why did I choose to say this example? I choose to talk about it because when you look at the context of South Sudan, you see different tribes have different historical, hatred that their family, their tribes, their religion has instilled in them. And this is the kind of belief that children have been nurtured to go by and to respect and to look at each tribe or each other in such manner. And we wanted to change the next generation of young people that we are nurturing in the camp so that by the time they are coming back to South Sudan, they will be able to look at each other as partner, and they will be able to tap into opportunity that they themselves will do form together when they work together. So sorry if I speak a little bit if I take a little bit too long to explain our response to this question. So to me, I see that there's a power in engaging the local within the local to take lead in building coexistence, in building peace among themselves and within their community. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jackie. It's more than words that you've actually shared. It's also actions and how that actions can counteract and bring more cohesion and advocacy, as not just the way of saying be at peace or work in peace, but also it shows that initiatives actually lead to awareness creation, which then creates a ripple effect to bring in more communities closer. So thank you for sharing your perspective as well. And speaking of teaching, I would like to go with Ato Iyasu and ask regarding what practical steps can actually universities take to embed peace education into their curricula or even within the student activities.
Okay. Can you see me? My connection is a bit okay. So let me go back to Dr. Mirgas and Jacqueline's presentation before I delve to this part. When we see the first presentation of Dr. Mirgas, it will be a very springboard to go for what universities can do. Many countries in Africa are in quest for democratization and liberalization, or the so-called as we are talking about the liberal thought of peace building. they won't work on democracy. So when they talk about, I mean, when we talk about the diaspora, especially Ethiopian diasporas are, or they, I mean, the diasporas can be united to bring development in a given region. But as we see, many of our diasporas are very divided, and working towards regional cooperation or national interest and cooperative framework might be very useful. And when I come to Jacqueline's point, it's very interesting the way she presented how we are facing conflicts due to resources, especially this primitive identity plus not only primitive identity, I mean, not primitive, primordial relation and constructive identity, which leads to dispute plus the frustration, aggression, or the competition between ethnic groups and religious groups has led or I mean created war in the part of the world where we live. So this all could be solved, as Jacqueline mentioned, on grassroots level, or in the education field, or in the peace education, or in the peace and the building education, peace building courses. The theorists are people like John Laderach, who emphasize on working toward this building peace from not only from the experience top to bottom experience, but from the grassroots to the top. The experience we have in peace building is the so-called from top to the bottom, or which is majorly done between the formal or the states or the those who are the conventional, or in government to government, or in between the government and other actors. But if we need to bring peace and want to build peace, we need to have effective performance on the grassroots level. So what do we need to do to bring or to build peace at the university level? As we know, universities of different countries include or engage in peace education, and they do have courses, but mostly, if you ask me what to do, we need to work on integrating peace studies into both formal education and student activities, in a place where I teach students have their own clubs or organizations, such as Peace Forum. They work on these activities, so the universities should integrate peace studies or peace education into their education, I mean, into curricular programs. As we mostly see, we do have civics and ethical education or moral education starting from the lower grades, and when it comes to universities, we have this moral course. Recently in Ethiopia, education, following the 2018 changes, there are courses added in first year for university students, and yet, if I'm not mistaken, the course called anthropology is the one which talks about indigenous peace building. In other case, especially, are you with me? My internet's not good. Hello?
Hello, hello. Yes, perfectly fine.
Okay.
Now. Yeah.
All right. So the first and the most thing should be integrating peace education or peace studies in different programs, especially in the formal education, starting from high schools is needed. Not only high schools, when I say high schools, the high schools and elementary schools are the basis or the foundation for higher education. So yes, there are universities which are working on peace and conflict resolution. Many courses are included in different disciplines, but providing or majorly creating the course or including in harmony or harmonization in a harmonized form will make the will allow individuals to have attitudinal behavior change. So creating such mandatory course will be good for establishing a better world. And again, we can take examples from countries like South Africa. South Africa, for example, has introduced the so-called these courses of courses related with peace, which talk about diversity, race, social justice. For example, currently in cutting-edge courses, as I earlier mentioned, I teach or I lecture or we work on the course called Globalization and Social Justice. When we talk about social justice, it allows us even to bring attitudinal change on the tomorrow's leaders or future leaders. So knowing this is very useful. Beyond formalizing or making a mandatory course preparation, it is good to have a peace course across curriculum or integrating courses or the peace course with with different disciplines. For example, in the field I studied international relations, we directly or indirectly study about peace. For those who study peace and security, it is a major course. But for those who study medicine or medical studies, or not only medical, education, engineering, we can organize, or we can, or it should be better to include courses or align the courses. For example, for someone who's studying business, incidentally, while I was studying one of my masters, I found that I think it is in Asia, nurses study peace. What about in case of Africa? We don't have that opportunity. So for someone studying medicine, if we provide courses like psychology and peace, or integrate the courses, in this case, it will be very useful. Yes, of course, in Ethiopia, for example, Addis Ababa University and different universities in Ethiopia provide courses related with peace studies and conflict resolution. So this is very useful to have researches. It allows us to go outside the university compounds and give community development services. So having these three, as I said, firstly, mandatory course, integration, and providing the study or research is useful. When it comes to the university students, it is for good to establish peace clubs, student organizations. The one I mentioned earlier, Peace Forum, is one of the activity in Ethiopia where many universities or students are engaged in working in peace and peace building. So this is very useful for promoting dialogue and having this constructive dialogue. Especially it allows to bring or to work on restorative peace and healing activities, or these post-conflict activities. So it is for good to have this all in order to have changes in the local community spheres.
Thank you so much, Mr. Yasu. And it's good that even education systems are taking the initiative to really practice the teachings of peace, regardless of the sectors, like you mentioned, globally. So it's really great perspective, and thank you for sharing that with us.
To add on this, if I have one more minute, the universities are engaged in different activities these days in conflict transformation, in the so-called different NGO or non-state actor sponsored activities where the youth are engaged. So the relation or the engagement between the youth is growing these days, even though it, despite there is hardly, despite there is a little movement or engagement by the youth, because there are different activities and there are different sedative activities where the youth are not involved, and different youth clubs in the universities, different youth engagement organizations are cooperatively working.
Thank you. Definitely, like the youth are trying to also create their own initiatives and bringing more social cohesion, while also trying to create more proactiveness and engagement as well. So it's good to see that the activities done by the youth is actually also been aware of key institutional people such as yourself. So thank you for sharing that as well with us. Maybe to also save the time, if I could quickly go to Jacqueline and ask a question regarding how storytelling has the power with your activities, and how the power that it has within humanizing the other, or if you can share a story that changed someone's perspective or brought people together.
Thank you once again. Issues of storytelling. There's power in sharing information, even the most sensitive information, through storytelling. I mentioned earlier at the beginning that a few years ago, I attended a storytelling that were an event organized by Defying Hate, South Sudan, in 2017. It was really a very, very wonderful event that brought together lots of young people who are talented at different things, talented at poetry, talented at, arts and exhibition and drawing. And they all came in diverse way to share their experience of war and conflict through story. And I also saw that by then, the country, for young people to meet together and discuss issues of, how society look at them and how, young people are targeted for what they say and how they say it in a public or private space, were really a big issues. Because even up to now, for any young people or organization to sort of organize event and talk directly into some of the political challenges that are affecting young people or the wider population in South Sudan, you have to seek clearance from the national security. And the national security is the highest body that are responsible for engaging in issues where the police can no longer be able to take up. But in South Sudan, the national security has become a space where if you have confronted, if you have had disagreement with someone, you go and report them to national security, they will be arrested. If you have had disagreement at what your leader is doing and you feel you're frustrated, you want to raise awareness about it, you will be attacked. You'll just find a national security arresting you. And these are the same people that every organization, youth organization, civil society organization, or even international organization operating in country, for any program that you organize, you seek clearance approval from the national security. And our young people became more creative at how they about the issues that are affecting them. And that's why I'm coming to the issue of storytelling, power of storytelling. We had organized one of the events in the country. Our leaders sometimes don't want to talk about it and they don't want to hear it, and including some of the community leaders. So we did was
You're breaking up a little bit.
One of the organizations that we partnered in collaboration with us, to raise the violence in the country. So what in the dialogue, one of the young women finally had the courage to speak up and share her story of how she was forcefully into marriage, how she has suffered from the hand of a man that her family forced her to marry. And she spoke about it and finally broke down in tears. And everyone stood out there listening. And some of the community leaders who are part of those enforcing patriarchal rules on forced marriage were in the meeting. And some of the family members were in the meeting. And one of the community leaders stood up and said that, I'm so sorry. I didn't know this is what you're going through. I cannot believe that this is what a lot of the young women and young people are going through. So, and for this, the audience and the community leaders who are more defensive of culture that say that as a woman, you have to marry whoever your parents assigned to you, had a bit of change of perspective when the lady stood up to share her story. So what I feel that storytelling sometimes brings community together. It brings people to connect with each other's emotion. It enables people to put themselves in the shoes of those that lived the challenges they are facing. So I even though that in a context now, a lot of young people, whenever they try to mobilize, they will be pointed out as they're planning to create chaos. They're planning to promote sort of disagreement or to pick guns or to fight. So young people gathering together is easily noted as a sign of violence, and which is not the case. And also, I'm going to link this to the challenge of political mobilization, where a lot of young people, if they stay isolated, doing nothing, the politicians take advantage of their isolation to actually mobilize them to go and fight the community. And we also look at, when we look at education and illiteracy level in the country, it has become very high. And some people are not able to express themselves in English or express themselves critically express themselves. And they are able to talk about and express their issues through drawing, through writing. And, if some of these spaces are open up for young people, we can see more creative ways where other people can also be able to identify their potential and their skill and leverage your need to be able to earn an income and source of living. And we see challenges related to safe space that I have linked it earlier to the issue of shrinking civic space that has become politicalized. So I see that storytelling is more powerful. It's able to prevent young people. As an advocate, they say that you have to take care of yourself before you stand up to speak for others. So storytelling could also act as one way for young people and a lot of people to promote peace, to share sensitive information, to be able to pass on information and raise awareness in their community, and also connect with people to change their mindset and perspective about situations. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie, for highlighting those core points regarding mobilization, community building, storytelling, and also different perspectives of arts for peace, which we also have a great poet here based in Ethiopia that would also showcase how art for peace regarding written poetry and written arts is actually used in a few. But before going there, I would like to finalize this panel discussion because of the time and also to keep everyone's energy going. Maybe with one last question to every panelist. What would your message or call for peace be? You can say it from your perspective, from the area that you're working on, or from the communities that you've been living along with, and so much more. Maybe if I can start with Dr. Marga on your perspective, and then we can go ahead with the rest of the panelists. Thank you.
Thank you, Meron. I would say Peace Day is not just because of a calendar that we celebrate, or not celebrate, but remind ourselves how important it is. It shouldn't be a one-day reminder. It is a daily, every second reminder to me, and I also suggest it should be for others. Because the lack of it has very impacts people who are especially in need or mostly affected. My suggestion, which might sound easy or simple, would be to actively engage in media and digital literacy. That I said people may take it simple, but it is not, especially in in our part of region where literacy rate is low, some might think having digital literacy is as a luxury, but it is not. The reason most of the countries who are authoritarian don't entertain digital literacy is it is seen as a danger. If you teach young kids from the elementary level and teach them how to critically ask after who is saying what and why, that would be very difficult to formulate propaganda that people can buy easily. So it is like arming the people or the public if you teach them digital or media literacy. So it's not, shouldn't be taken as simple. It is very important. That's why it is seen as a danger in autocratic countries. My suggestion is that we need to pressure and we need to push hard in this perspective in how to inculcate a critical mind that ask not only the authoritarian or officials, government officials, posts and statements, but also people they think are part of their community who are posting misleading and disinformation contents. Even if you don't ask back, you can just stop by sharing or resharing it after reading that post. So that comes through education. So my word is that let's push the roots to educating the public. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Merga. That's quite a good, how we call it, a push, a very strong, good push of a brief line. Maybe, Mr. Iyasu, how would you also give your perspective? Maybe to bring in the question again. So we're trying to sum up the panel discussion with a message or a call to peace, like a call to action. So how would you be sharing your perspective on the call? Iyasu, do you hear me? I think Mr. Iyasu is having a bit of... Okay.
I'm here.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay. So how would your message or your message for call to peace or call to action for a peaceful cohesion be in your perspective?
Peace building is, as I earlier mentioned, it's not a one-day event. It has been, there are wars, conflicts that are occurred throughout generations, and there are efforts to prevent or de-escalate conflicts. As we know, conflicts are hidden or latent at the beginning, and then they go out for and they manifest themselves, and after the manifestation, escalation and peace building comes. So rather than working on peace building, we have to focus on conflict prevention or before conflicts occur in different situations. And one tool to deepen and broaden as well as widen peace through the society, or to have a society with positive peace, is working and development and constitutionality. I was hearing what Dr. Merga was citing. Many countries have challenges with development of the so-called democratization. So a way toward this inclusive governance, when I say inclusive governance, especially good governance, democratization and development, especially this so-called economic development, societal development, and justice should be on the table. So improving such activity is useful. When it comes to this part, what Dr. Merga was mentioning, especially with the social media utilization, we have big problem where we are not filtering out the way we use. Political systems come and go. Nations sometimes are not with strong or effective tools. If I'm not mistaken, Germany has laws where hate speech will have punishment, or it has laws. Most European countries have standard rules. Sometimes countries like the Britain go far, and it has some accusations. When it comes to the region we are, just not mentioning the part where we are, many of the users of social media have challenge where they use to broaden divide rather than having cumulative dialogue, or this dialogue that includes or the voice of people to be heard. So working on proper utilization of social media is useful. Legality needs to be there. Political transformations can bring or can enlarge or shrink the political space. Mostly journalists are present somewhere else, and sometimes the journalists go against the law, or they may have defamations and false statements that can ignite conflict between religious groups, ethnic groups, or propagandas are also available. So if you ask me, the universities and the youth organizations should work on promoting peace by training or by creating platforms for engagement of the youth and creating youth champions of dialogue. And there needs also working effectively to lead awareness on campaigns, promote dialogue, and working on this post-conflict healing and constructions in a way to change guns to tractors. Rather than sending children to barricades or military trainings, it is for good to give them paints. And also institutions, governments, non-state actors, when I say non-state actors, NGOs, local or international, as well as intergovernmental organizations must cooperatively work to bring development and inclusive environment without the prejudice or without exclusionary manner. In Ethiopia, we have many activities which come from government universities, private universities, and several universities, for example, have worked on peace initiatives, but working only in the university campus is not something that we get satisfied. Rather, we need to work on community engagement and development, on different political situations in order to create sustainable peace and development. So when we have projects that are not marginalizing, excluding people, starting from the farmers to the top class, it will be useful. So there is a good quote by Jeremy Bentham, the greater happiness for a greater number. So let's work for the greater happiness, and let's define the greater number. For me, the greater number is the youth and the women, and those who are marginalized should be included. So universities can promote on campus activities and on non-campus activities. In campus activities, in different departments, students have debating activities and open youth dialogue, plus they engage in cultural activities where they have inter-social shared values. For example, in one of the university I work, they do have the day called Diversity Day, where there are different nationalities, where they entertain equality of their identity. As we discussed, identity is one of the challenge where conflicts occur. If you marginalize my ethnic group, if you do not include my group, or this assumption of this social division, us versus them, can create conflicts. If religious groups are not included in government positions, in different representations, or if there are no fair representations, conflicts can occur. So let's work for social inclusion, economic inclusion, political inclusion, or representation. If there are communities which are marginalized, it is better to improve laws, directories, directions toward this inclusive manner. So organizing such or improving such programs or such direction is useful. The use of social media is useful to maintain peace. We have different social media platforms such as the YouTube, the Zoom, the storytelling, and other platforms which we can use online, including Facebook and TikTok, rather than using the TikTok and this social media for unorganized and unplanned value. It is better to use these platforms to deepen and reach the people. But one thing we should not forget is these days we are using the social media and the internet, but the amount of the use or the community in the part of the world where we live using internet is very small. So going to the use in rural areas, beyond changing the laws, transforming the society, inclusion, creating agreements where we have inclusion, it is useful to go for the youth who is in rural area, plus to the development. If there are no roads, it is for good to build roads. If there are no equally distribution of resources, it is for good to allow platforms to ask and divide and bring equity and equality. Plus, conflicts can occur. So, in African Union, for example, we have the early continental prevention or the continental prevention union in under APSA, African Peace and Security Architect. So let's work on conflict prevention, on early conflict prevention. How? We can send the youth on to work on youth engagement and dialogue, plus identify challenges and discuss with the policymakers of a given nation. In different parts of Africa, in the world, we have a large number of youth, so this large number of youth can engage. So these people can work on conflict mediation, plus beyond conflict mediation in different places, we need to encourage community volunteering, plus organize the youth in fact-checking. Earlier, Dr. Merga was mentioning, the youth need to work on fact-checking, media literacy, and promote peace than delve into indoctrination of conflict. Yes, there are challenges. Interests are creating differences. But as we are living in 21st century, the way forward should be on working on social cohesion. When I say social cohesion, borders of between two ethnic groups, borders of two countries, borders of two nations should not be a place where we have conflicts or where we have people killing one another. It is for good to have people to have restorative peace, discussion, conflict resolution, plus not only conflict resolution, engage. You know, earlier Jacqueline was mentioning where there are conflicts in Sudan, I mean South Sudan. So their activities were very nice, inclusiveness. But let me add, we can have markets, restoring market access, constructing roads which connect two or more tribes, and having places or platforms of using especially indigenous conflict resolution. In Ethiopia, we have the GEDA system, which is a very democratic and has existed for a long time. So let's use this system in order to solve conflicts. Before 7 or 6 years ago, there were conflicts in the in the South and Southern and Oromia region between Gedio and Oromia. So conflict resolution method were there. So it's not about only conflict resolution. It is needed to work on conflict transformation. Let's change.
Sorry, Mr.
Okay.
Others, as there are some people waiting for performance, but it was really great that you shared it.
And let me finish my idea. Yes. So working on integrating different ethnic groups, you know, not only integrating different groups, development should be built. Territories should not be part of where different ethnic groups or religious groups go to fight. Rather, it should be a place where they have constructive engagement. We can deepen marriage between different ethnic groups so that to sustain or have sustainable relation. Different actors, especially when we talk this the grassroots and the middle, they can encourage people to work together. So the future would be better if we work on conflict transformation, not only conflict resolution.
Thank you so much, Mr. Yasu. It's all valid, and it's very well also even understood how you shared it within the different examples and methods that you mentioned, also linking it with diverse situations and diverse ideas that was shared with the remaining panelists as well. Thank you so much. Jackie, if you can also briefly tell us what your final call to action for peace would be.
Thank you. First of all, having the opportunity to be in the panel with great colleagues sharing their perspective and their experience, I have also recognized that I also want you to join me in recognizing that our struggle for peace is connected across Africa. We see conflict and displacement, insecurity continue to test us in different ways. And it's important for us to accept that peace is a process. It takes time for people to heal. We have to acknowledge that it takes time for people to heal the wound. It also takes time to develop trust and build a relationship again, and to change mindset. For peace in our region, it requires more of dialogue. It requires working in collaboration with partners and organizations across the region, and civil society organizations and different stakeholders, government, women group, youth group, people with experience in different expertise and walks of life. We have to also call upon the regional leaders and bodies, including the African Union, the IGAD, and those who are supposed to champion the peace in the region, to ensure that the peace initiative that they champion, they are more inclusive, they are more open, and those that are supposed to be part and parcel of the process facilitated to be part of it, to share their own experience in shaping what kind of future and peace they want to live in, and what it means for them when we talk about peace. And as we always say, I also do want to urge you, of course, the organization, the youth organization and the community leaders to stay awake, to continue acting, to continue fighting. And we must act, we must lead, and we must build. And we must support initiatives, youth initiative, organization to promote social cohesion. We must create opportunity to empower people in different aspects. And I always like talking about, like Desmond Tutu once say that if you want peace, you don't talk to your friends alone. You also talk to your enemy. Therefore, I want to end my final statement by saying that let us have the courage to keep talking about the things. Let's keep building. Let's keep creating such kind of forums to discuss, strengthen, and learn, and get new ideas on how to move the region forward, Africa forward, our community forward. Thank you all so much for the opportunity to be here.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline, and thank you all for being here and being part of our amazing resources as panelists and as experts as well. I'm sure this won't be the last conversation that we would have within this thematic point. And like Rogue and Defy Hate Now has been working on peace jams and peace building activities, and also not just peace building, but even how to counter online hate speech and fact-checking involvements within different parts of partners and organizations. So please feel free to also look into our websites, our digital platforms. We're on social media, and keep in touch with us so that we can really strengthen what we've been talked about. And we have also take in consideration that these conversations don't stay as conversations. So without further ado, I would like to say thank you and close off the panel discussion. But in the meantime, Haben will also share with us her generalized findings of the conversation we had after our amazing poet has also taken the space. So further ado, Haben, kindly welcome our poet, and we can go on with the next activities of the session.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Miron. Thank you, everyone. We really had a good time. Before I come up with the final call, let me give the mic to
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. Not sure if it was breaking up. Okay, perfect. Now everything's clear.
I didn't catch the last thing she said. That's why it was breaking up.
Haben, maybe you can comment quickly and mention what you were stating earlier, as there was a bit of connectivity.
Sorry, Akhlil. So you can start now, and then I will get back.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. My name is Akhlila. I wrote this poem. It's titled Restless Embers. So here it is. Can you give me a second? I would like to start the poem by having a quote from Shakespeare. Hell is empty, and all the devils are here. The world I see before me, a world smeared in red, stacked with endless voices, all cheering on ahead. Those who chose to connect through an invisible cord, witness in silence as a revolution unfolds. The string that kept pulling, taking, searing, the fire I tried to put out, the embers always escaped me. I wonder, would they find you before me? All the questions that dared to breach my mind, would my answers bring the light to you? How can I tell you what my heart desires? How can I confess I long to see only what is before me? A time before algorithm and virality crossed my vocabulary, when it was all fun and games and coffee ceremonies. Then the treacherous path of the little dark screen that cradled my whole palm, the savior and killer of every mood I dared to behold, the orchestrated lies placed in a believable fold, the crystal eyes that belong to user 993214. What makes your words stronger than the mystery? Why should I believe a truth that transpired without a history? This is the untold story of a precious, perishing soul, the unwalked path of all the dreams left untold. I looked past the mirror. I shattered the illusion. I found the little girl there, tending to her own destruction, pulling out thorns, watering barren bushes. A girl in a blossoming field, ignorant of the unseen, her mind a battleground, terrorized by misinformation. She is not fighting for a seat at the table. She is fighting to keep the very doors open. I call out to her, warning of the dangers ahead, only to be blocked. Who are you to tell me to lower my voice? The blood in my veins is boiling. I am not just seen, I am quantified. How could she have known the cost of a connection? How could I have known the price of being seen? My scream bellows across the digital valley, swallowed by the voice, muffled with indecision. What have they done to you? What have you come to be? Have I been mistaken from the start? Have you been meticulously deceiving me? Advertising death, curating envy, the 7 deadly sins, a checklist to complete, the faceless monsters that haunt my dreams, the restless fans that trail my seams. The brokenness is not of glass, but of trust, the smiles hidden with the tears of gas. How did this power coalesce? How easy would it be to find the fiend? Would the cost What would the cost be to see the past, the growing field? When all of these prices are laid out truly, when would you then start to follow me? I pulled back from the edge of the glass. The fight was never for land, but for space. The girl in the field, the sun placing kisses on her face, to wish for nothing more than to what is in front of her. Reach out a hand and feel the strength of another. Our power in unison is still left for us to uncover until the fire ignites again. Thank you guys very much. That would be the end of my poem.
I give you the real physical clapping, and also, of course, the digital one.
Thank you very
So
much.
can we do all of us? Can we do it, Dr. Marga, all of us? Or
1,
what?
2,
Yeah.
3.
Can we do it all of us or what? Okay.
Yeah, better.
1,
In
2.
what way? You can guide us, Dr. Marga.
Okay.
3.
1, 2, 3.
I
Respect.
love this.
Thank you so much, Akli.
Thank you.
Please start us by encouraging those who works like this. Let's give
Yeah.
her thumbs up.
Thumbs up. That's digitally or what?
Whatever that means, I gave her A+.
A plus.
I will
Agreed.
accept gladly. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aklila. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for having me.
It was really amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you as well.
It's been a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much. So, before conclude our today's session, let me give a chance to audience if there are any questions. If there are any questions, let me know. Okay, if not, finally I will come up with the summary of our today event. But before that, let me invite Brooke Tagay, our country representative in Ethiopia, who will add some summary or conclusions of our today event, also call to action. After that, I will back with the final summary and call to action as well. Let me give you the mic, Brooke. Thank you.
Thank you, Haben. Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry. My name is Rook. I'm the project lead for the Defying Hate Ethiopia here in Ethiopia. We are based in Addis. It's an honor to give this closing remark. We have heard from different panelists, very powerful message and very moving discussions today. So I am especially moved by the discussion in the chat groups on the pro-peace message shared by participants and panelists as well. We also heard from different distinguished panelists. They spoke about different issues. Also, we have heard different personal stories from people who born in conflict, also who survived war, as well as who are currently living in the shadows, who are in different communities, including Tigray. So these are the kind of discussions that keeps us moving, also motivate us to work in our project, especially looking at the courage of individuals, youth who are participating in this kind of panels that give us the motivation factor within our projects. As Mr. Stephen Covert said, hate speech is not African phenomena. It's a global issue, especially as the upcoming election is approaching in Ethiopia. We take our work very serious. These are the kind of platforms that gives different people, panelists coming from academic space, civic activists, as well as youth to kind of spread the word of peace, as well as to increase resilience within Ethiopia, as well as the close collaboration we see coming from different regions in East Africa, including South Sudan, Uganda. So such platforms are the kind of platforms that we facilitate within the project to kind of allow us to reach more audience, also foster different collaborations within Ethiopia as well as across Africa, including the diaspora. Today, I'm also happy to see teams from AskNet, a capacity building and hub development project by Rogue Agency. They were present today, joining us from Uganda as well as South Sudan. It seems their presence highlights the importance of collaboration across different borders. Finally, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to our incredible panelists, Mr. Dr. Mergasori, Jacqueline, as well as Ato Iyasu. Thank you for your insightful and meaningful discussions. As we carry the spirit of this event forward, I would like to kind of remind us to stay true to our work, as well as keep fighting, as well as continue to defy hate and combat hate speech within our communities, both online and offline. This event is not the last. We'll have similar events coming. So I would like to pass also my invitation for people who are interested in our work to follow us on social media, as well as to reach out to us via email, as well as LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, if there are areas we can collaborate on. I have today learned a lot of things from the panelists in the area of work they do. It would be very interesting to kind of find a way to collaborate within different area of work within our project. So thank you again, once again, panelists, everyone for joining our event. Let's make every day a day of peace, not only as we commemorate the International Peace Day, but let's focus on the positive piece as our distinguished panelist, Ato Yasu said. So I will give it back to Haben. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you, Brooke, for the conclusion and summary. So, Steve, do you want to say something? Okay.
Well, okay, yeah. Thank you very much, everyone. And I mean, I had a comment on something that someone said, but it was hard to jump in, to the conversation. Oops. Sorry. Oh no, something terrible has happened. I noticed we had a colleague come in from Kosovo, and I mean, we've kind of run out of time now, but it would have been nice to have a little bit of input, from them. So I don't know if they can maybe type something into the comment box. I also have my dear friends and colleagues here from Iraq. I don't know if there's anything you'd like to bring in as a last
Yes.
point,
In
maybe.
very short way.
Okay, very short here. So from Naras, from Basra.
Yes. I just would like to share with you a type of analysis or concept of how to understand and deal with the peace building in our situation in Iraq. So I will make it very short. We diagnose the root of conflict based on the ignorance. So when we dissolve this ignorance, we dissolve the fear from the others, and that will reflect on the peace building positively. Our approach as a maker, because we run a maker space called Science Campus in Basra in Iraq, it is about providing the education, not the academic one, which need long term. We deal with or choose the short term maker skills based education, which full of interactivity and gamification, and mixing everybody from every ethnicity, every sector, every religion, and to make this possible to remix the community and build a new division of education, removing fear and then peaceful thing. Thank you very much.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Naras. I don't know, Manny, would you like to add to that?
Thank you so much for this meeting or this event and this all the work.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, maybe just as a note, like what Naras is talking about in terms of making is about, people who do stuff, who build things, what we call open tech, and how to make those kinds of activities also reflecting on media issues, like how to combine media worlds, online worlds with offline worlds with action. So it's also a form of proactivity, which I think is what we're trying to get at here, like not to be passive, about our actions. And so anyhow, conclusion from our end here is, again, thank you. The poem was amazing. Thank you so much, for that. That really brought an inspirational moment into that. And what I forgot to mention earlier when I did my little intro was that the Defy Hate Now initiative in Ethiopia is funded by the European Union. So I just want to make sure that people do know that. Again, to Haben and Meron, the amazing panelists, thank you so much. Yeah, I wish everybody a great rest of your day. And also, to our friends who joined in from South Sudan and Uganda. I know it's very difficult in terms of the in terms of connectivity and paying for being online. So I really appreciate you and everybody who was able to join in on that. And I just see a question from Jacqueline asking if Defy Hate is still on in South Sudan. So just to clarify, the initiative, and this is very, very important, it's called Defy Hate Now. And that hashtag is not a funded project. It is an idea. It's a concept which we would like to have shared everywhere, because we need to defy hate now everywhere. And yes, it does exist in South Sudan. It's being run by a number of people and organizations which were formed, which came to be after the initial, let's say, German funding was there, which ended in 2018. Great teams and people have continued that work on fact checking and various types of activities. So it has it has branched off and continued in various forms, just like it does in other places. Yeah, that's kind of the scenario there. What's maybe just as a final point and comment on this, and related to South Sudan, and maybe Jacqueline can relate to this, is that when the conflict started in December 2013 in South Sudan, people were not talking about the relationship between social media and conflict or violence. When we and others in the online space started to identify this in early 2014, because we saw this happening, funders, policymakers, the United Nations, for this was totally new for them, and they didn't really believe us. Social media was a fun space. It wasn't a space that was being used by conflict influencers, but it was. So the reason that this call of Defy Hate Now happened was to take immediate action to push back against those conflict influencers, because they're always at 1 or 2 steps ahead of us. They're good on how they manipulate the media. So that's what I mean when I said that that space in social media was open for the conflict influencers. And it is our job, your job, all the people who are here, to counter that space and not allow it to be as open to the conflict influencers. And so it's not just about a funded project here or a funded project there. It's basic individual media interaction. And as the panelists were saying, there's never enough media literacy being taught anywhere, whether here in Germany, in Ethiopia, South Sudan, anywhere, and it's extremely, extremely important. So again, thank you. I will finish with my wrap up here as well, and I pass it back to you, and wishing everybody a great rest of the day.
Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you so much. So as we are running out of time, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. I have big takeaways from our panelists. As we all know, Defy Now is working with all the global and East Africa regions as well. So personally, as having seen as I'm a victim of war, I know I have been felt the pain. I have been seen and felt the pain it brings. So that's why I'm working with the peace, and it gives me energy, motivation to be here and to be part of the Defy Hate Now project, as well as we all are working with countering hate speech, as well as building peace as well. So it was an amazing event. I learned a lot from all of you. Thank you so much for your time, and also for your reflections as well. So thank you so much for your personal and professional reflections. I have a bit takeaways, not a summary, but Dr. Merga was mentioned that peace is it's not one time, rather it's a journey. So let's work on that. It should be our daily journey rather than celebrating as 2 days. We are celebrating with the International Peace Day. So let's work on that. And also, we have also another takeaway from Dr. Merga as establishment of the fact-checking. Defyhatenow is working also on that. We are working with the fact-checking. We have like follows from Tigray region, Oromia region. Now also we want to work with the Amhara region as well. So we are working on that. So we are on it, but we need our your support as well, since it's collaboration work. So I just mentioned that we are still working, but that it's still on the initial stage. We don't have any established hubs of fact-checking platform in Ethiopia. So we need to work on that. So it just thank you for that. Thank you for adding that value as well. As strongly we believe we need to work with our daily peace. Is not a one time. So let's celebrate, let's work for peace on a daily journey. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Merga. I have also a great takeaway from Jackie as we need to work in the integration of our community. So we believe also with all the aspects of creating, as she mentioned, about the psychosocial support, the economic empowerment, those working with the influential leaders has its own huge impact in all our working platforms. So we just take it as it is. So we strongly believe also as a team, as also as a Defyhatenow in our personal engagements as well. So we want to work with that. We still need your experiences in South Sudan and we need to work within that as well. So thank you so much, Jackie, for such experience, for sharing your experience as well. Having that, thank you, Iyasu, as you have given emphasis on the youth and the universities as well, as you have mentioned. We are also working with the universities in Ethiopia, with Mekelle, Jimma, Addis Ababa University, Hawassa University as well. So we want to give emphasis on that. So you have mentioned that about the involvement of the peace in the curriculum, in the course of curriculum. So we strongly believe in that. So your experience sharing was a plus for us. So thank you so much. Thank you for all your experiences. It's just a quick key notice, not just a conclusion of part of this today's event. But I want to say thank you so much for all. We have a last call action. Let's unite. Let's stand together and building peace in all our platforms. So we have a LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, our website as well. So please share our works, our initiatives in all globally. So we want to work with all of you. So thank you, our panelists. Thank you, our audience, as well as my lovely team here in Defyhatenow and in German as well. So thank you so much. Can we have a last photo? Can we turn our videos? And finally, I want to say also thank you for the European Union. It's funded by the European Union. So can we have a photo? So let's turn on our video. Let's have one smiley photo. Thank you. Miran, are you taking photos?
It would be me and maybe if Dan will take a screenshot, or if Brooke can take a screenshot of it as someone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apologies, as I'm feeling a bit under the weather, so I will have my video off, but yeah.
No, thank you, Miran. We understand that. Thank you so much. I was thinking if we can have some kind of action for peace. I don't know, it's great that digitally, but okay. Thank you, Brooke. So can we do this one? Or the right one? The right one. Okay. Dan, are you taking our photos? Oh. I was thinking if
that's
we could
fine.
Yes, Dan.
I've taken that. Another one, you're saying?
Can we have all of us in one? Like All of us in one, yes.
Perfect. Thank you. I've
Thank you
taken
so
that.
much. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Happy International Peace Day. Have a nice day as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Haben.
Thank you
Thank you,
very
everyone.
much. Have a
Very
good
much,
day.
everyone.
Have a great day.
Ciao.
Have a good day. Don't forget to follow and engage with the social media platforms.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Thank you, Miran.